Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I found a very interesting article and I'm not fond of either of these individuals who actually are the authors of an article that I wrote in an American news outlet. And they say certain things and they cannot be accused as being Putin's friends or apologists or maybe, I don't know, collaborators. And thank God these guys are not in Ukraine because Zelensky would have rounded them up yesterday and who knows. Now, who am I talking about? I'm talking about Gates and Rice, Condoleezza Rice and Robert Gates. Now, Condoleezza Rice, we all know she was the former U.S. Secretary of State. Okay? And then we got the other one was the U.S. Secretary of Defense, Robert Gates. Okay? So for me, either of these guys, I don't care. So, but they made a statement, some statements actually, that are very interesting because I think they reveal the fact that these guys in Washington are not idiots, are just, you know what I mean. And the fact that these guys make these statements, what's the newspaper? In Washington Post, that to be allowed to speak up and say something like this, it's very encouraging for the Russians, disappointing and I don't know, depressing for the supporters of war. But this is what's going on. This is what's all about. So this article comes from Sputnik, and it's from 41 minutes ago, on the 7th of December. Oh my God! I mean, Pearl Harbor attack now. 7th of January 2023. Condoleezza Rice, Robert Gates say Putin will retain Donbas territories. Oh no! You can't say that. You can't say that. Well, they did because they don't give a fuck. Now, Moscow is set on keeping control of the territories that have voted to become part of Russia amid the special military operation in Ukraine. Former U.S. Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice and former U.S. Secretary of Defense Robert Gates said in a joint article for the Washington Post. Disclaimer. Remember, this is Sputnik. Sputnik will give us the interpretation of the article, will give us excerpts, and they will interpret the whole article the way they want. Okay, so be mindful that they could say, yes, they say this, and the rest of the article means this. All right. After all, there's a war out there, so I don't think Sputnik will be, you know, they're probably smiling their mouth reaches the ears, how happy they are that these guys came forward and they said what they say. Because I'm going to quote them at one point, right? Yes. According to Rice and Gates, most of Ukraine's industrial capacity and mineral wealth are under Russian control, while the Ukrainian infrastructure and the economy have suffered greatly. All right? And I'm quoting. For Putin, defeat is not an option. Finally, some normal people. Do you think that guy is going to say, yeah, I think we take our toys and go back to Vladivostok? Jesus Christ. It's not an option. For the Russian nation, it's not an option. How do you think Russia will be a power again or respect itself? They say, yeah, we lost because, as they say, Ukraine won the war, beat us up. Yeah, okay, not NATO, Ukraine. That's how the story will be told. And you're going to have to tell your kids, yes, Ukraine beat Russia. And you're like, really? It was not Ukraine, it was, what, 50 other countries over there. What are you talking about? No. Daddy, or whatever, granddaddy, what's over here in the history book? And are you commenting Schlesinger? He's the author right here. Arthur Schlesinger, yes. He's the approved, used to be, I don't know. I got 1 or 2 books of that weasel. But anyway, I counterbalanced it with Howard Zinn. Not that Howard Zinn is the, but at least tells us everything from a different point of view, and that point of view is the, I would say, communist slash anarchist point of view. But hey, you gotta have this kind of people too, right? Yeah. So back to this. If he cannot be militarily successful this year, he must retain control of positions in eastern and southern Ukraine that provide further jumping off points for renewed offensives to take the rest of Ukraine's Black Sea coast, control the entire Donbas region, and then move west. End quote. The joint article published on Saturday says, today. Now, I don't know, move west, they leave it like that. It's a comma after move west. They don't tell us move west what? To Barcelona, to Portugal, to where? Anyway, and I'm quoting now. Count on Putin to be patient, to achieve his destiny, Rice and Gates said. Well, I count on him too. The problem is that he's not that young either, and he has cancer according to these guys, so he's about to kick the bucket. Yeah. They stressed that Kiev is dependent almost entirely on Western aid, and the United States must increase its military supplies to Ukraine if it wants Ukrainian troops to push back Russian forces. So that means these guys are the sponsor. Yeah. If you don't give them more weapons, then the Russian and cunning, patient Putin will win. You don't want that to happen. They're going to move west until they reach what? They didn't say. Open-ended question, I guess. And I'm quoting again. Absent another major Ukrainian breakthrough and success against Russian forces, Western pressure on Ukraine to negotiate a ceasefire will grow as months of military stalemate pass. End quote, the joint article says. So these were direct quotations here from the article. Now they tell us what's all about with this Russia special military operation, tra-la-la, lu-lu-lu-lu-lu-lu. And then it says on September 30th, Russian President Vladimir Putin and the heads of the Donetsk and Luhansk People's Republics, as well as Kherson and Zaporozhye regions, signed agreements on the accession of these territories to Russia following referendums that showed that an overwhelming majority of the local population supported becoming part of Russia. Got it? Got it. All right, they had to say that, so I thought I forgot how we got there. Anyway, so we got Gates and Condoleezza Rice, under whose nose those airplanes hit the Twin Towers. And they hit terrorist attacks in Washington, D.C., Pennsylvania, New York City, okay? And she was the Secretary of State then. What happened to her? Nothing. Now imagine that you are at a military base, right? And you're over there, you're in charge, it's evening, and you have to, you're in charge, the commander of the whole defense for the night, the whole patrolling of the premises. And during your watch, someone breaks in and, blows up a few things over there, kills about 3,000 of your troops, and then whatever, commit suicide or something. Now, do you think you're going to get a medal for that? Do you think you're going to get a promotion ever? Or do you think you're going to be like court-martialed and forever young? I don't want to be. Huh? Is that what I'm going to be? I think so. You're going to be gone forever. Your youth is going to be turned into, old-aged person. So here we have these guys. I think they're accurate in their statements. The point of all this is give Ukraine more military so-called aid. Otherwise, Putin will win, and he will stand fast. He's not going to waver in, okay, maybe I changed my mind. I mean, he can't, actually he can't. I mean, he could, but I think he's going to be blown up by his own people if he tried to do something stupid. Like, let's say Putin changes his mind and said, okay, let's go, let's retreat, give them reparation just because I want to hold my chair, my seat. Do you think that Russian population and his people around him is going to let him do that? He's going to be disappearing. Maybe like that in the sky, if you know what I mean. Anyway, good. I'm glad these guys say these kind of things, because people can see that, oh, well, the things are serious. Maybe we should think about certain things. It's now or never. I don't know. The Russians already started their offensive again, since over there it's already the 8th. And the 48-hour truce that Putin instituted during the Orthodox Christmas, the Russian Orthodox Christmas, is over. So back to work. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.